Hello, everyone, and welcome back to S-Rank, the only home of video games. My name is Ethan, and we're back here in the lake. sitting here, getting wet, waiting for the fish to bite. Yeah, this is our seventh Gone video game Fishin stream, where every single month now, I pick 4 fishing video games across different platforms each time, and we kind of go through them and kind of rank and generally review 4 different aspects of these games. Let me open up our spreadsheet here. Sitting at the top of our kind of ranking here, 2 games are tied, an NES game and a PlayStation 2 game, the Blue Marlin and Top Angler Reel Bass Fishing. Both excellent games, and they're rated as such because on these 4 different categories, they ranked very highly. They actually tied in exactly the same scores. Our 4 categories for these kind of, I don't know, aspects of fishing. Environment, which is essentially the visual presentation and the ambiance of the area in which you're fishing in. Not necessarily talking about all graphics on the video game. I don't really care about menus or anything like that. But just like where you are at when you are fishing, what's it like? In the case of those 2 games, they scored 4 out of 5. Each of these 4 categories are a 1 to 5 deal. Because regardless of what platform that they're on, they rank, the visual splendor of those games are higher up on what those consoles are able to achieve, and I think they look really nice. Music and sound, pretty simple, but I'm not talking about menu music or anything like that, story mode music. I'm mainly talking about, again, sitting there while you're fishing, what music's playing, before or after you actually hook something, and then the sound effects themselves. Again, this kind of ties into the ambiance. Technically, it kind of goes hand in hand with environment. But also, like, there have been games where you're reeling and there's no sound. Or the sound's awful. Stuff like that. How does that sound? And then fish variety both obviously means the variety of fish themselves, but the different ways in which you can catch the fish. How many different, tackle options do you have? Weather conditions, water conditions, time of day, etc. And does that mean anything? There have definitely been at least one game I can guarantee. Actually, where was it? We played it last week, and it ranked low. Zebco Fishing for the Game Boy Color meant jack shit. That was like essentially you clicked a spot. Oh, you caught a fish. Great. Didn't matter what you did. It was just like you're eventually just going to get a fish, no matter what you did. So obviously, it ranked, relatively low there. It had options, and I generally liked kind of the aesthetic of how the fishing looked, but it ranked low because of that. And then fishing feel is the controls themselves. There's a lot of standardization in fishing controls, but we've seen some break the mold. Fisherman's Challenge for PS2 used both analog sticks in the act of fishing, like you actually reeled with one while used the other to jerk the rod. It was weird, but cool. And then some others have the general, like, just you're holding down a button to be reeling, and then you're just left and right or back and forward to fight the fish or ease off if it's starting to break your line. But yeah, those are the 4 categories in which we rank these games. And every single time, like I said, we play 4 games. We've done a total of 24 games so far across a various number of platforms. I think actually next week, I don't know if it's next week. Not next week. Next month or maybe the month after. But we're going to be doing the sequel to this game. Naxigwang. The Korean DOS fishing game that was so confusing to me. But this time, we got 4 games here across the Game Boy, the Sega Saturn, the PC. Yes, we are going back to Windows 95. And the PSP, our first PSP game of the day. Yeah, Trophy Bass 2. So, I don't know which stream it was, which outing it was, but where is it? I believe, yes, right here. We did Trophy Bass. I have my copy. My camera is mirrored, but you can see this is the game. Purchased off eBay, this Windows 95 / Windows 3.1 game. It works on both. It was interesting. It was very neat, but ultimately a little bit boring. But its presentation was so PC of the era that it has a lot of charm to it that maybe isn't super fair to rank it relative to its peers on that platform, especially during the era in which it would have come out. But a lot of that stuff it looks really cool and nice in hindsight, in retrospect. So I have Trophy Bass 2 for us. This is the deluxe edition. I don't think we're going to touch any of the expansion disc stuff that you could have purchased for the original that's just baked into this deluxe edition. And then at some point, a couple outings from now, we will touch the third game, Trophy Rivers, which I also just recently purchased off of eBay. Each of these games are like, I don't know, less than $10, definitely. I think maybe closer to like $4, which is nice. And hey, you can't run them natively on a standard Windows operating machine these days. We're going to have to key into my Windows Vista computer in order to play that without any weird emulation things that I don't want to deal with. There's plenty of virtual machine, Windows emulation stuff. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't want to deal with any of that released right now. So that's why at least I have my old computer here. In chat, someone asks if I'm in the nude. The answer is yes. That's why we're above the nips here in the water. All right. Let's begin. All right. Let me hop on over to here. And let's begin our first title on the Game Boy Hyper Black Bass 95. This is somewhat of a sequel to Black Bass Lure Fishing, which was the first Game Boy title in the Black Bass series. This is the 7th Black Bass game. To my knowledge, this game actually in particular, which we're about to see, I haven't popped it up yet. This game in particular was not on the list for the longest time because I thought it was just... it got lost. It get lost in the annals of Wikipedia cataloging, and not everything is cataloged in Wikipedia or other wiki-like services in terms of video games. So I actually did find this through other means, and we're going to be playing it today. So on the Game Boy here is... You can hear it. Probably not super loud. Where's my mouse? God, this is really annoying. RetroArch has decided to... Hold on, we're gonna restart this. I'm gonna raise the volume up here on PC audio. I know the Game Boy's audio is harsh sounding, well, to put it nicely. But I have the filter on, and okay, here we go. We're gonna sit here on this main menu for a bit. I don't know what Black Label means. There's only one version of this game. And it is only in Japan. This version was only in Japan. Some of the other Black Bass fishing games, they do come to America under different names. The last one we did, which was in Japan called Super Black Bass 2 for the Super Nintendo. In America was called Bassin's Black Bass with Hank Rogers? Hank something or other. I forget what the name was. Just they tied it to a brand. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of these Black Bass games just get tied to random brands. All right, let's begin. Select our country, America or Japan. We're gonna go with America. That's where we live. That's where I live. Okay. Interesting, you're selecting this now. I like the spinners. Sound nice. Oh. Color, that's very funny. Oh wait, I guess we hit left and right on the thing. Oh, I don't have any spinners, that's why. I'm at 0. Okay. Interesting, we got 3 red, 2 blue, and 1 silver. So I guess we'll go with the red ones. Spinner bait, why not? A few data. We're on Lake Jackson Lake. It is July 5th. We just had a big party yesterday, so now we're hungover in the morning of the next day fishing. But the weather's clear, and it's an okay temperature. Today's catch, I caught nothing, obviously. Oh, weird. It's not showing you the map first. This very much what Black Bass lure fishing was, like a very rigid grid structured But this looks uglier. Just the way the grid is broken. They couldn't keep the you know, obviously this is a tile set that they're using to build these maps out of. So you get a square that's got a picture on it, right? And you're puzzle piecing it all together to form the map you want. Really trilly there. They've kind of fucked up the grid. They didn't do a good enough job. I don't know, that's weird. Wow, okay, this is exactly what the last Game Boy Black Bass was like. Almost to a T. Yeah, almost to a T. So I can hold the A button here to reel, and that's rising it to the top based on what the bait is. Some are going to sink instead. Oh, okay. Got a guy. Yep, he's jumping. Reeling him in. When the number goes down, you catch him. And our little man there has caught the fish. The fish is happy. It's wagging its tail. See? He's smiling. Great. Almost 2 pounds. That's a rainbow trout. He's not even a bass. Let's try again. Yeah, this was the presentation before. And if it looks a little bit confusing, I understand, because in black bass lure fishing, it was like this as well, where this is the bottom of the water, or the bottom of the pond, the lake, wherever we're at. Right now, the bait is on the floor, the soily, rocky floor of this lake. Initially, I thought because you're holding down the A button and it's, you know, moving like that, I thought that was the surface of the water being all wavy, with then like rocks jutting out of the water. No. Those like horizontal bands of patterns are supposed to be the surface of the water. So, and it made sense. It was visually, you know, I think apparent when the fish jumped. They didn't like that. The fish jumped out of the water, I guess. It might go somewhere else. Or I might change the color. And the rocks are scaling, so to speak. It's just different sprites that they're using. Yeah, this is exactly like that other Game Boy game. I honestly don't know how much longer we will be trying this game, because this will probably rank the exact same. Although that other one, right here, that other one also had a Game Boy Color version they released years later that looked a little bit nicer. It changed some of the graphics, not just like what their colors are. Come on. There is a quick reel. I wasn't holding the button there at the end. It's just A and B at the same time. Select do anything? No. Pause just pauses. So B goes to this menu, casting. Oh, right. So what's end? We just give up? Here's our password. Are you sure? No. Okay. Change your lake. Can change your lake. God. What a terrible sound. That's not a pleasant denial sound. That's a this is broken sound. Or you got zapped in, you know what I mean, in a video game. Like a Pokemon zapped you or something, I don't know. Alright, where are we going? You can always quit and then pick the Japan, I guess, starting lake. Can I go up through that channel there? This music that's vaguely, Baby Einstein. If you remember those DVDs, my mom bought them for my baby brother. Stupid things. But it's like very kid-like music renditions. In this case, that sounds like Beethoven and whatnot. Like classical music here. This isn't classical music, but this sounds like it, you know what I mean? You could be convinced that, like, you know, I don't know. Someone did it. Your line broke. You lost your lure. Good, because I was going to change it anyway. Let's do a worm. Have it be fucking silver. Today's catch. At least it's like you still keep the rainbow trout. Because some of these games that are bass-centric are like, nope, you caught something, it's big, but it ain't a bass, so fuck you. At least you get credit. It looks like there's black bass, northern pike, rainbow trout, and catfish. At least in this lake. I want to try the, worm looks terrible. I want to try the Japan lake in a second here. I just want to catch, like, one more fish. Yeah, I don't know. Because that's what's difficult with, some of these games, where it's hard to tell whether or not you've caught a fish's attention, what you are supposed to do. The way this game is presenting it, it seems like the fish is swimming up to you, regardless of what you're doing. Like, in theory, you could sit just like this, and a fish could swim up, and then swim away. It doesn't seem like it's relative to your distance from the boat. Like, it's just gonna like, maybe it's triggered, like, it's set to randomly trigger at certain distances or something like that, but it doesn't seem that, like, oh, if I sit here and not reel it in, that's different than me just holding A. You know what I mean? Let's try our, I guess let's end. Let's try the Japan lake. Hyper Black Bass 95. This is the year I was born. Go to Japan. Start. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. I gotta pick a lure first. The country isn't the location. It's what language? It didn't even dawn on me that, yeah, the game was in English, but a lot of these Japanese games, they are kind of in English for some big keywords without even like a Japanese substitute, I guess. Yep. Oh, 20 degrees Celsius. They went from Fahrenheit to Celsius. I don't know what that was. Okay, well, we're gonna check out if we throw our hot dog in the water. Yeah, see, like, depth and line are the same in English there. Guess he didn't like that. But hold on a second. Yeah, this is the same lake. So your country selector is just, a language. Let's see if we can catch the same fish again. Yeah, and you can hold it left or right or up, you know, which is to simulate you kind of jerking on the rod there. And I imagine the bar's attention meter. Oh, this thing's ugly. This is a carp. Or, not a carp, catfish. I'm gonna be honest here. The only seemingly real difference between this game here and the previous Black Bass game on the Game Boy that we played is this screen. It might literally be the only difference. Like, and the music is, I don't want to say different. It's got that same, again, like, Baby Einstein rendition of classical music, but this isn't actual classical music, but it sounds like it could be, that type of thing. The music might be different. This screen is different. The lakes were different, but kind of knowing, at least being able to understand a little bit behind the scenes on how the game probably works, the lake probably doesn't really matter all that much, besides, like, there are nodes in which it's decided that that's where this fish can be. Right? So you're kind of just randomizing the spots to kind of, you know, spruce it up, and then making a lake around that as a designer. Okay. Well, you know what? I think it's got the same exact password it looked like. I will say I'm at least a little impressed that this isn't like a selection of lakes. This is just a English or Japanese text thing, which almost implies that they were going to release this in America, but they didn't for whatever reason. And the work is kind of done. You just remove the Japan text stuff, right? Yeah, this is. God, I'm gonna pause that. That game, you know what? God bless them. It is basically the exact same game as black bass lure fishing for the Game Boy. There was the Game Boy Color version, which we also did in the same kind of breath there, and we did both of them basically the same thing, besides some graphics were changed. I wouldn't say improved, just changed. The color was an improvement, but that's not much of anything. So, boy howdy, we gotta let's see here. You gotta rank this. Also, last time I talked about how I'm pretty sure Excel had a way to keep the top row on screen at all times, and they do. They definitely do. Okay, so published by Starfish, most likely developed by Hop B. I'll have to take a look at the start screen again or whatever. Game Boy, 1995, black bass lure fishing. Yeah, 3 years earlier, and they made the same game again. They made the same thing again. The graphics on, or the sprites for those lures, the same. The sprites for the underwater stuff looked the same. Maybe they're different, but they looked the same. Again, visually speaking, the only thing that seemed different was the end screen, which also was different between both the Game Boy and Game Boy Color versions of black bass lure fishing. So, while part of me is like, oh, I can just copy and paste and then we're done, but some things do have to go down because of it. I think the game looks uglier than the first one, despite looking mostly the same. That, like, you know, map thing, they broke their own grid. It looked kind of dumb. Music and sound will leave it at 2 there. I guess I have to have this be blue. Fish variety, there were 4 fish on the Game Boy, and the number of lures, I would still leave that at 3. Fishing feel, man, I guess I would leave that the same, because the controls are the same. It's very, very, very standard. It's boring. And part of what makes it not higher is the lack of a feedback on why a fish wasn't interested. You know what I mean? Like, because think about it this way. You have all those different lure options, your tackle options, and the colors of them, right? So we had at the start there 3 lures with 3 different color options, so 9. Okay. 9 options. Did all the fish that decided not to take a bite on the lure leave because they didn't like the lure, the color, the combination of both? Like, I like silver worms versus just worms in general versus anything, right? The tiers on pickiness, I guess. Is it because of that, or is there some sort of, like, attempt at stimulating that sometimes they ain't just fucking interested? You know what I mean? Is there something like that going on? So it's hard to tell why a fish wasn't interested, because, you know, I caught 2 different fish with the exact same lure color and the exact same spot. The English language and then the Japanese language. So they didn't care necessarily, or at least they shared the same interest in what that was. But those were the only fish I was able to easily catch. Every other fish was uninterested. But is it because I should have swapped lures, or is there some, you know what I mean? Because like two different fish were both interested in the same thing, meaning that I caught a rainbow trout in the first attempt, and then a catfish in the second. So that means the catfish were interested. No catfish bit. That makes sense, right? Being able to understand that, like, oh, should I actually swap or not? Because should I just keep trying? You know what I mean? Part of that, I guess, in real life, you don't know. But this game is not simulating your obscured view of the water. And, like, again, I go back and forth on, I mentioned in each of these streams how you can simulate what the fish are doing in one of two ways, fundamentally two ways. Either we have rendered or attempting to render in part all of the lake, the pond, whatever, and there are actual fish in specific areas, right? Actual fish in specific areas, and you need to try to get that fish. It's over there. That type of thing. Whether or not we're fully rendering underwater or in part, whatever. How is that versus the Final Fantasy random battle? You just and you're waiting. Now there's a fish. The fish wasn't there. It has decided a fish has bit, if that makes sense. So whether or not there's actual fish that you are attempting to court that specific fish that is there, no matter if you keep failing or not, versus there is no fish. We are rolling behind the scenes based on your conditions. Should you catch one? Should one bite, rather. And then you begin the reeling stuff. So this game is kind of doing the latter, kind of. But there is your odds are presumably different depending on where you are in the lake. I assume that would matter. I've been going obviously into corners because that's where they generally tend to be. So, all in all, yeah, this is a D. Score of 10. Halfway there. Again, each of these 4 categories is a 1 to 5 deal, so 20 is our maximum. And that's that. Okay. I've probably talked more about that game than was necessary. Next up, we're doing Fishin' Koushien for the Sega Saturn. I'm going to need a second here to set that up because I'm pretty sure my whatchamacallits have been reset. So, you see here. But yeah, generally speaking here, with each of these games, we're just kind of trying to figure out what it's like to do the actual fishing itself. There's a lot can be said about different aspects in like career modes or whatnot. None of that matters to me necessarily. It's nice that like especially you see that on like the PS2 era where like we got to justify the price, right? We got to justify someone spending $50 on our PlayStation 2 game, right? So you having a career mode and all that stuff. But that stuff's not interesting to me. It is interesting, but not like particularly important for the ranking of these games. That gives them extra value and whatnot, but ultimately, almost done here. Ultimately, we are just ranking the act of fishing themselves. Okay, ABCXYZ. The Saturn has, so I'm using again, and it's mirrored. My camera is mirrored. I'm using this 8BitDo 64 controller, so the lighting doesn't really work, but this is meant for Nintendo 64 games, but it's a 6-button controller, which is what the Saturn is, in Japan at least. So that's why we're rolling with this controller for Saturn games. I have to button map all 6 of those buttons. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, that there. Okay, here we go. There's our Sega Saturn. I own one Sega Saturn game. That's Dead or Alive. And it's not even in English because that was Japanese only. So this is also a Japanese only release. If the title Fishin Koushien did not tip you off. What do we have here? Seems like an exciting day. Ooh, some yacht animations. These are some serious pro fishermen. There's a charm to this, but it's weird because the Saturn could definitely do higher, it's CDs, higher resolution video. Yeah, here we go. Oh, King Records, A-Wave. A-Wave is the developer. I'ma assume the top option. Okay. Like how the sprites, like, truncate. Yes? Yes? Uh-huh. I assume this is a fishing tournament. Just hitting that snare in the left ear channel. Over and over. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. C button, I see the C button. Or at least the letter C. The fuck is this? Am I getting bonuses? For the fishing? I assume that's not what the game is like. Because that'd be very funny if that's what the fishing is like in this game. I think that's me at the top there, because it's yellow. Okay. That's an awesome screen. I love his face. I like how the fish is jumping at the lure. That's fantastic. Oh, it was the two of them. Okay. Wow, they have wireless microphones. Crazy. They got different text noises depending on who's speaking. 20 centimeters, something is 5, something is 6, something up top is 2, and something else is 1. Wow. Okay, so we have nodes on the map here. Let's go here. Okay, here we are. So A is a menu button. I hold B, and I can pan the camera around. Okay. X, Y, and Z don't seem to do anything here. And C is our casting. And I did it too far. Oh, and I lost the thingy. Go with that. L and R is speed. Okay. So far, the D-pad doesn't seem to be doing anything, and I'm gonna assume that means it doesn't matter. Let's go 3/4 of the way. Okay, I can reel with A or C. speed determines that stuff. Okay. Okay, down jerk the rod, which then means it's simulating slack. A nice sound. Didn't see any fish. Actually, yeah, I can pan the camera around. Okay, there's a couple fish there. It's weird. It's like the camera's on ice. Like, I'm not touching anything, but I pressed down last. Alright, so... I can angle it after it releases. This is very similar to a lot of the Super Nintendo fishing games we've done so far in terms of presentation here, but better. I mean, this is obviously a 32-bit console. The music's great too. Okay, C and B are quickly reeling in. Wow, I can really do this slowly. I might change to a different lure. This is neat. I'm liking this. Right. What's this? Oh, there are different people and they got different stats. Okay. I mean, I don't think it matters because I haven't seen, I don't know what any of those words mean. I'm assuming that's tackle. Right. Let's try that one there. I booted this game up months ago to make sure that it was like something I could read and do. And I'm wondering if it saved some of this, because I am remembering now, you did pick a character. So I must have a save, I guess? Maybe, I don't know. Or if those are just your 3 characters, I don't know. But I thought you picked a character. Wait, where did the fish go? They go away. Oh, they moved. Top right corner. We might try a different spot. What's this? What's the radio? Oh, is this to check standings? Yeah, because if my name is just one character, I definitely would have done that. So this is from... Oops. This is pulling in a save file from months ago when I tested out just to make sure that these games ran and that I could understand enough. Let's go over there. Wouldn't let me move. No fish here. I want to leave. Oh, is it? Because this is a competition. There are other people around. You can only move to empty spots. All right, there's one on the left there. One in the top right. Damn, okay. Okay, it was biting, but I didn't know what the reeling it in button was. Okay, well, I just pressed all the buttons. Okay, we have our tension gauge. I basically let go of everything and held up in case that did anything. I don't have any more? Man. Thanks for the advice. I don't speak your language. Okay. Stuck. Stuck, we're stuck. Yeah, I don't know, I just jam on all the buttons when I hear that sound. That didn't work. So I must have did something. Maybe down? Maybe I want to... Okay, there's one up there. Sometimes you gotta be patient. I did something wrong there. Guess I'll change lures. Okay, it was down. You have to hold down. Okay, so the speed. I was messing around with the speed there. And that was changing how wide that tension thing was. Probably look around and see where these fish are at. I scare them away? You gotta be kidding me. We can move there. Okay, I see 1, 2. I think there's really only 2 fish per node. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm understanding this now. There we go. Okay. So you're managing the speed. Wow, they went to, like, attempt at photorealistic renders of the fish. That's interesting. You have to manage the speed as well as whether you're actually reeling or not. So it's actually, it seems pretty simple then to manage in your favor. And look, did it say how heavy that was? So we got that other meter on the right there. We kind of just want to stay in. I don't think you want it to go to either extreme. So simple. You're just managing left and right buttons. I wonder if that's just saying, hey, this fish doesn't count because it's not the correct type of fish. No, no. No, no, no. Come on, give me the fish. Left and right and up don't do anything. It is just the down on the D-pad is, well, you hear that sound. But that's just supposed to be you yanking back. Man, fish just got a lot of energy. It looks bigger, I guess. Yeah, it looks bigger than the other one on screen. Yeah, you could see me angling the lure. Left, 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 left. How am I supposed to approach this? Okay, here we go. And get it all the way down to the bottom. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's getting caught on the rock. Whoa! Let's back off. This is a battle. Okay, here we go. Okay, now the fish is fighting back. No, 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 no. Stay there. Don't go behind that rock. Oh, don't go behind that rocks. Because then they just swim into the rocks when you're reeling in. On. Like and subscribe if I catch this thing. Find the rock again. So I wonder if this is where character stats come in. Like, if we had a character that maybe had more power, if that's one of the stats, I don't know, they're all in Japanese, would that mean that they'd have an easier time in doing what I'm doing right now? No, don't go away. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Finally. What was this thing? There we go. That's a big one. Look at this thing. Flopping up and down. Making the sound effect. It didn't say, unless it's writing it out phonetically, the numbers. It didn't say how big it was. This character has a lot of something, so we'll go with that person. Let's try to go for one more fish, and then I think I've seen enough for this game. I was jerking the rod, but... Okay. Alright, here's an easier one. Whoa! Thrashing. Oh, the line broke. Honestly, I think that's enough. Neat game. This game has a sequel, so obviously it sold well enough for folks to want another. I agree. I think they're trying to inform us about the time. left in whatever tournament things they have going on there. All right, so Fishing Koushien. Let's rank it here. Drop it there. Grab the rest of the information. The Sega Saturn. Wait a machine. A video game console that only is appreciated in hindsight. Unless you had a lot of money and were importing games in the 90s, you did not have a great of a library for the Saturn. But, entire libraries could be put on hard drives these days, and you could really experience the entire depth of that machine. And I would say this game is a part of it. That's a neat game. If I understood Japanese, I would understand more about what's going on with the tournament mode and if there's a story and what all the characters are able to do, because there's a lot going on there. So, environment. It's very, very similar to how the Super Nintendo fishing games operate. Top-down view, boat centered at the bottom, physically swimming around fish. Again, they're physically rendering actual fish you need to go for. It's a nice vibe. It's Sega Saturn, is equitable to the PlayStation in terms of what we can expect here. And so while we've seen more impressive 3D visual games, and I would even say that the real fishing games are a part of that, despite on PlayStation mostly being 2D until actually the entire first game is 2D. The second game having the 3D rendered fish. This is obviously more anime looking. This is certainly within that mindset of what the Saturn was supposed to be during its initial development of the ultimate 2D gaming console. We'll leave 3D to our arcade division. Oh shit, the PlayStation is doing 3D. I guess we got to do 3D. I don't remember when they knew about Nintendo 64 at Sega there, but okay, I guess we got to do 3D on the home console. Shoot. But this game still within that 2D mindset of a 32-bit console, and it looks really nice. That's why I'm kind of hesitating to give it a mediocre score or a middling score. I feel like mediocre would be 2. 3 is standard, I feel like. I like the vibe. I like what they have going on there. I'm gonna give it a 4 for environment. Music and sound, I feel like is pretty top notch. It's got a great music for before and after you strike on the fish. The sound effects all sound really good. I'm hesitating between 3 or a 4 right now. Basically, the question I'm asking is, what brings it above a 3 to make it a 4 for me? The fact that I think the music is good? Does that count? Versus music that feels like it has a vibe that's fun? But I also liked what the music was. All the sound effects felt appropriate. I don't know, am I being hyperbolic here and giving it a 4? Or should I go with 3? Tough. Ultimately, when we get into the CD era of, not CD as in CD underbelly, but compact disc era of video games, audio becomes the same potential as it is today. Unless you're talking about surround sound type stuff, but even on CDs, whatever. Red Book Audio, there is no limitation, there's no sound chip. They're able to play music directly off of the CD, sound effects directly off the CD, load into the memory or whatever, but still. So we're at the point now where it's difficult to really judge how good the sounds relative to the other, to its peers. You go older and it's okay, I know the NES sound chip is able to do more, You know what I mean? I've heard better sounding sample selection off of Super Nintendo games than this or whatever. That type of conversation can be had here. But when we get into CDs, it's kind of just like, does it fit the tone that they want? Does it sound exceptional, or does it sound standard? And when I say standard, I mean like, does it blend in? You know what I mean? The reeling sound, does that blend into all the water sounds? Do they blend in with what you're kind of experiencing so they don't stick out, positive or negative? To me, really, the only thing that really stood out to me was the music. We've had games with that perspective on Super Nintendo that don't do music at all, but we're talking Saturn here. It's just visually the presentation is so similar. I am gonna go with the 3. Okay, fish variety. Again, it's not just the variety of fish, it's the ways in which you can catch fish, and this game has a lot of characters from what I remember when I did test this. I know I picked 3, but there's a lot of characters, and those characters each have different stats to them, which I am under the impression isn't just fluff, it is real. So I think it has to be a 5. There's a lot of variety there. Now, fishing feel. The controls. This is very, very similar, again, to the other Super Nintendo games we've done, the best of which, so far, ranked on the list here, is Tien Bass Tournament of Champions. But even the Super Black Bass games we played, I mean, I guess I gave 3 for all 3 of them. This feels easier to grasp than the other 2, because you have, it's initially speed, but it turns into your drag on the line there. The 1 through 5 LNR gives me more control over the pacing of the fight. That's what you're doing. You're fighting a fish, right? You have better control over the pacing of that fight, versus the other ones where it did kind of feel like I'm kind of like either reeling or choosing not to reel. I don't know if left and right does anything, because you don't even see your guy on some of that stuff. This felt more than that. I am going to give Fishing Feel a 4. Okay. Which means our total is 16. Holy crap. Okay, then that means, what is this, a B? Yes. This is the top of what B has to offer. Wow, 16. This is now our 3rd, or technically 2nd, highest rated game, depending on if you want to combine Blue Marlin and Top Angler as one game, one spot. This is going to nest right in between Top Angler and Bass Landing there. Nice. And and honestly, to God, it is the fact that they have that entire RPG system there on what the characters are able to do stat-wise. And you're swapping between you're picking 3 characters for a boat trip, for your tournament, whatever. Neat. A very neat video game. A very, very cool video game. Okay, so next up on the list to do is Trophy Bass 2. Again, Windows 95/3.1. I'm going to be toggling over to our capture card, which my other computer is sitting on a floor next to the desk there. I have to use an entirely different keyboard and mouse for that stuff. Now, if folks remember from the original Trophy Bass game that we streamed, the video files themselves, for whatever reason, aren't going to be able to play. So, like, there are, just straight-up video files that the game queues in to present to you. And we're going to watch one of them now, and then another one. We're going to find some at the end after we play the game to do. So, without further ado, here is VLC. Open this to full screen. And let's play. This is the intro video, and then we'll actually go over to the game itself. footage of some dudes. This is very loud, and I'm sorry. It's almost done. Yeah, there we go. That's the thing. Congratulations to them. So that will play at the beginning of our thing there. So I think I can toggle to this. Uh-oh. Hold on. Make sure my computer over here is on. I think it went to sleep. There we go. All right. There we go. So here we are in good old Windows Vista. My old Windows Vista computer. Or Ethan PC. That's right. And let's launch Trophy Bass 2, shall we? I've already installed it. You can uninstall it, but I'm gonna hit run. From your folks at Sierra, the Half-Life company. They published Half-Life. And then now it's gonna play that video. I think we're hearing what that video was. We're hearing what that video was. It also means I might want to lower the audio there. So imagine that video playing in the black screen there. Okay, Trophy Bass 2 Deluxe. Now I want to sit here for a second because it will play a tutorial. But it's fun music. Presentationally very similar to the original game. There is no full screen. This is what the game is going to be like. And the top bar up there actually has that's our menu in the game. Let's sit here for a second. Here we go.
Welcome to the Trophy Bass Preview. This is a guided tour of the game's main features. If you like, you can show yourself around using the control buttons on the left. Place your mouse cursor on any screen or button you want to learn more about. A single-player fishing trip is the easiest way to learn. It lets you choose any lake, any skill setting, even the exact weather conditions. In tournament play, you'll have to know how to find the fish and beat the competition in all kinds of conditions.
This is straight up one of those PC games they made for dads.
Screen. Its top-down view lets you scout the surrounding water and plan your cast.
To autocast, click on this target icon.
Okay.
Move the target to where you want to cast. Then click on the left mouse button to place it. Now simply click on this cast button. To reel in, hold down the left mouse button. You can control the rod position, left, right, up, or down, by simply moving the mouse. To bring in the lure fast, just right-click. For a truer fishing experience, try casting manually. Click and hold down on the cast button. Drag the mouse back to pull back the rod, then push the mouse forward, releasing the mouse button to cast the lure. This takes a little more skill, but makes casting pretty realistic.
Sure.
The season and weather conditions all affect how bass feed and are always changing. That's why you have so many casts, rods, and lures to choose from. When you get a strike, the controls change.
When you get a strike, pull the mouse back sharply to set your hook. As you reel the fish in, pull back to keep your rod high and watch the line tension meter on the left. You want to keep enough tension on the fish to wear it down fast. If the line starts to strain, you'll see it and hear it. Ease off by pushing the mouse forward or just stop reeling. Now if the big ones keep breaking your line, try a lower reel speed, a lower drag setting, or a heavier line weight.
Okay. Very standard, very similar to what the original
Need
game was
advice
like.
on the current conditions? Left-click the Pro Tips button for help from
So
top
all of
bass
those
fishing
videos there that
professionals.
they're kind of previewing
Right-click for the How-To
won't
section.
play.
Your built-in
We're
bass
gonna watch
fishing
some of them
guidebook.
afterwards.
You can easily find a new spot to fish with the photo and contour maps in the navigation screen. Then use the depth sounder, fish finder, and thermometer to zero in on promising underwater structure.
Okay.
When you're ready to take on the pros, try tournament play. Here you face tougher conditions and competition that knows what it's doing. You'll need to fish smart and fish fast to finish in the big money.
Big money, 100,000.
Multiplayer tournaments add a whole new dimension. Compete head-to-head over the internet, over a network, or over a modem with all kinds of folks. Race the clock to see who's the best bass buster on the cyber lake.
I wonder if this is peer-to-peer, meaning that you actually could do this over the network. But Sierra Online, there would have been some in-between that would have been shut down. But you could set up a LAN
With its
party
rich fishing
and
simulation,
do Trophy Bass 2.
in-depth fishing guide, and multiplayer tournaments, Trophy Bass 2 will keep on rewarding you with boatloads of challenging play. There's no limit to the fun you can have.
All right.
When you're ready, click on Exit to hit the lakes.
Sounds good. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Why don't we begin? Fishing trip, tournament, career, Hall of Fame. Let's do a quick fish. All right. So we can move this window around. There's also other. We can set our difficulty here. We can put our depth gauge. Put that over there. And then the conditions, which we can set. We can just choose what we want the conditions to be. What's player info? Oh. Name. Very, very PC era to be like, guest is the default. Well, where do you live? In a lake. State. Question mark. Okay. So like they said, we can, there's just a whole bunch of fish just sitting right there. Let's try out to here. And then cast. This is... I would not even be surprised if this is the same sprites of...
Yes!
Oh, okay. We got a guy. Tiny little thing. It's like barely fighting. Caught a fish. 12 ounces, not even a pound. Only the release button? Man. I do want to see, is there a resolution option? Because... Okay, everything is up. We can turn the sound effects off. Uh-oh, this game is behind the times. We'll see what happens when I click that. It just changes into... Okay. Or maybe this is ahead of the time, because you can just choose your gender on the fly. Like, afterwards. Net protocol. Oh, controller. Interesting. Interesting. That'd be something to research. It would be neat to it would be neat to revisit this in depth, these games. I could have sworn there was a monitor resolution option, but that might have been during installation, and this might actually be the highest here. That is very strange. So you have to... Just gonna leave it here. So you hold this, you go back, and then you gotta go forward and release.
Good one!
Okay. Tiny little screen. I should probably have made, I should have probably made this, my view of this bigger, but, I mean, it's the entire screen. Caught a catfish. It's over a pound. But believe me, it's tiny on my monitor, too.
To find active bass in the flats, try spinnerbaits or shallow crankbaits. These do a great job of imitating bait fish and let you cover a lot of water quickly.
Okay, so this is a video camera. It's probably showing... Yeah, I'll clip for a quick tip video. Yeah, so it's not showing the videos for us. We'll watch some of them at the end. Let's see the fish we already caught. I name this fish. I want to name you George. Time is advancing. Let's see. Oh, silver. I like this. So. Got our branded sponsor. We only get one casting type. Oh wait, no. I see. Two-handed. Sidearm. Look at this little dance movie he's got going on. Pitch. Yep. It's basically just for getting underneath like low-hanging kind of willows like you're seeing behind me here. Just to like not get it tangled up in an overhang. Is this just doing that? I've never seen anyone do that before. Weird. And none of that really matters for this because this is nice and clear and open. Afternoon, evening, morning, cloudy, rainy, clear, rainy, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, wind speed. Jeez. Alright, we're going to 45. Wind direction. Southwest. Air temperature. 40 degrees. Water temperature somehow is 80 degrees. Just the extremes. Water is just twice as hot. Twice as warm as the water. Or the water is twice as warm as the air. But it's making it hard to see. So let's remove that, make the weather clear. So the wind direction is coming from the southwest. For whatever reason, I just read that as heading southwest. Right, coming. Okay. I actually want northeast, because I wanted it to go this way. Let's raise the temperature up. Let's kind of just mellow it out to be the same. And then we can have it, I mean, then this is like, you don't see the fish at all. We want to see the fish. Alright, let's, guess cast right there.
All right!
I love that. All right. And so again, like, the subtle mouse movements here are putting him from neutral to back, to then forward.
Oh, man!
Oh, he was right there. He's right in front of us. Look at him swimming away. Asshole. Let's see if we get anyone. And you can see, like, he's moving based on the relative position of the mouse.
Right.
Tiny ones, they go for it. sure. Spotted bass. Not quite a pound. Depth sonar. Right. I guess that's more of a light and not a button. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just this spot again works for me. We can increase or decrease our drag here, and this is for moving us around. What was this again? Oh, right. I remember that was in the first one. Let's catch one more and let's see if we can change to a different spot in the water. Or in the lake, wherever we're at.
Yes!
That's right. In chat, someone says the water levels are rising. That's true. So close. 5 feet away. Ah! It's 3 feet away. All right, let's actually, I press this, then that bring us, yes. Put that over there. Full screen. This is a pretty neat lake. Like an amoeba. Tendrils everywhere. A photo map. Oh, okay. Our boat controls. So where are we? Oh, we're here. Okay. So we can just click to move. What happens to... Okay. Stop right there. Now we're fishing. See some fish. Let's go for it. Because I have the wind speed of 45, what, miles an hour? Or whatever units that's supposed to be. We're just being reeled in really quickly. Let's go all the way in. Lower it down to just a 1. What's up in chat? We're playing some EC Fishin'. Alright, I do want to move closer to land. Let's get our little boat. Right here. Okay. Go fish. Fine. Try this. Alright, so there's some up there. Go for it. So silly. Even though the wind speed is set to minimum, our thing still has like a drift to it. Yes! Here we go. It's tiny, but let's get it. Okay, coming in. Alright, come on. There we go. Hey, we got an actual largemouth bass. Alright, we'll keep this thing. Let's try manually casting again.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, this is bigger. Basically just staring at the numbers in the bottom right corner and listening to the sound, whether or not to move the mouse up. Oh. Game froze there for a second. There we go. A spotted bass. Wow. 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds. Nice. If we go... Where is our live well? Go to fish. I assume that means the screen we're on right now. Where was, Oh, live well option was just here. Okay. Biggest fish. It's a nice size. It's a tiny little thing. Yeah. The little baby one, and then a big one. Wait, so I can just keep that there? Oh, no, I have to hit close. Right? No, we can actually keep fishing. Okay. As the slow wind speed is just dragging the lure away. Might have more to do with the fact that it's closer to land, maybe. Let's put that there. Yeah, because I can... I guess, what if I have it go, towards the land, so it's drifting towards them? I mean, yeah, I don't really know in real life water and air temperature how that affects them. Obviously, if it's really, really cold, they're not gonna like move further away from, you know, their, I want to say nest, wherever they're kind of spawning. You know what I mean? Wherever they're kind of living, in clusters of whatever. No, it's still doing it. It's so weird. Looked at only a little bit. Oh, that one's interested.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, hold on. After this fish, I'm gonna make this you nearly full screen. So we can have, come on. Just because this game is kind of tiny. Oh, this one's, even bigger. By a tiny bit. There we go. Now he's up at the top. Look at this guy. Alright, I have to use this other mouse. Let me see here. Let me take this. Copy, paste. And make this full screen. Alright, so we're going to go full screen for the next couple of fish here. Just so you guys can really see what I see. Where's my mouse? Where's my other mouse? My Windows Vista mouse. Alright. This fish might go for us. So let's cast up there still.
Good one.
Okay, tiny little thing, but we got it. Very tiny. Put up like almost no fight. Oh, so tiny that we have to release it. Alright, now let's move once more. Guess I'll put this here. Let's really get out of here. Oh, I see. I'm in the bottom right corner there. So let's really drive away. Oh wait, that's not where I want to go. This is neat. I would love to do this in real life. I want to go up to the top left corner of the map. Up here. Oh, not that way. Alright, let's find a neat place up in here somewhere. I want to go over in here, so... Oh, not backwards. I just want to go slow. Try this. Take a look around. Couple fish. Alright, let's give it a shot. You know what's funny too, because again, I'm playing this game. I mean, it's not technically 1920 by 1080 in terms of like what the game has to operate with because of the start menu at the bottom there, but whatever. I'm just gonna call it that. You got to think about what resolutions we're talking like 300 for like a horizontal resolution on some of those old computer monitors at the time, which is, I think, pretty much what this is here. So like all of these extra like panels I've had open are actually like overlaid on top. You know what I mean? Okay, so you can only keep 5 fish at a time. It's keeping 5 fish at a time and getting rid of your smallest one. So like all of these would be like overlaid on top. So you would actually be closing them, but because we have the real estate to just plop these everywhere, you know. We're just out in the middle of this lake, so like it looks featureless.
Yes!
We'll move the boat again. Yeah, we'll move the boat again. I mean, this will instantly be the smallest, so let's just release it. Let's get up into here. Okay. What I like to see. Okay, some fish at the top here.
Oh, yeah!
I just love how the game depicts how they're interested. It's all of a sudden just instantly they rush for it. They're just there minding their own business. Ooh, this is nice. Very nice looking. Keep it. Oh, but they got rid of it because it's the same size as the other one. Whatever. The fish will just sit there and then instantly decide to boost for the fish that they want. Or for, you know, for... Well, they assume it's a fish, right? For your lure. So I can just sit here, just like this. Things moving kind of on its own.
There we go.
Then the game has just decided, you know what, this fish is really interested. And that's the perfect way to do it. Again, this is a video game, a PC game, a computer game. This is a computer game for your 40-year-old father in 1996, or whenever the CD-ROM released. Hold on, I have the case in front of me. What does it say? Copyright 98. The same year as, granted, this is the deluxe edition, right? This is deluxe. Same year as Half-Life. Right? This isn't for the gamer. This is for the dad. You know what I mean? This is for the dad. This is someone who subscribes to the magazine Front Page Sports, right? And saw the ad for a game with that magazine's branding on it. And then, you know, maybe they bought Myst, right, for their PC. Maybe they bought some Sierra games, or maybe their kid has a Sierra adventure game. And said, you know what? That's a name I can trust. I'm gonna buy this Trophy Bass game. It looks so nice. And then we get into the stuff we're about to watch. I'm gonna close this down, but the stuff we're about to watch, and hey, I'm back again. And you know, it's got the professionalism vibe that that a magazine reader would want from a PC game, from a computer game. Let's close this. Let's close this. Close this. The game clock is up here. Close that too. And can go to weigh-in. You want to save your trip in progress? Yes. Save for Ethan. Sure. And here we go. gonna hit exit now. What's homepage? Oh, I want that. I'm not connected to the internet, am I? No, I'm not. You can see my Dissidia for the PSP. There we go. Okay. I guess spinning exit. You want to quit? Yes, sir.
Trophy Rivers from Sierra is the new breakthrough in cyber angling. Coming this fall. Order yours today.
They did that with the last one, too. You have to hit you with an advertisement when you go to quit the game. Okay. So yeah, Trophy Rivers, I have that sitting on my desk in front of me here. We will touch this game, Trophy Rivers, in the future. Not today. In some future stream. So, thank you, Trophy Bass 2. This monitor out of the way here. This mouse out of the way here. Get my normal keyboard up in here. Move the computer monitor inputs back to the monitor has a VGA input. I could have used that with this. It was Vista computer, but it's going through a splitter because it has to be captured by my capture card in order to appear in OBS there for you guys to see. Yeah, should make some new games just like that. I kind of agree, but here's the thing. The people that would interest. In fact, actually, I wrote PC, but really it's Windows 95/3.1. The audience that Trophy Bass 2 would go for in the 2026 mindset, they're on iPads. That's just what it is. It's iPad gaming. And honestly, scroll it back maybe 15 years to 2011, Facebook gaming is where you would see a game like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Trophy Bass, the original, you can see it. We have up at the top of the screen here. Currently the 13th position. Environment, I gave a 3. Music and sound, I gave a 3. Fish variety, I gave a 4. And fishing feel, I gave a 2. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're going to take a break here in a second. I have to use the restroom. Here's the thing. This game is basically the same game. The exact same game. The exact same game in terms of what we are touching upon. In terms of what we're touching upon. Exact same game. So initially 96. So then, what, a year later they did the expansion, which we didn't touch. And then this was the deluxe edition that I had, which was 98. But a year later, they did the exact same game again. You know, there's maybe more lakes, more whatever, but really, it's the same thing. So, while it is kind of disappointing to just be like, I'm a copy-paste the thing again, I am kind of copy-pasting the thing again. I mean, really, yes. There's a lot going on for the environment. I do like the lake map. I really like the lake map and how they do that. And while, again, it's not one-to-one with the fishing view, it's not one-to-one with what the map is, I'm convinced enough. You know what I mean? That my position there really matters. Music and sound, man, the same sound effects, the same music. Literally. So, the same. Fish variety. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of options. We didn't do the top-down menu bar options, but they are the same as Trophy Bass 1 there. And then fishing feel, I mean, yeah, it is the same mouse movement stuff. It's the same. Granted, you know, there was a joystick option. So you would have been able to plug in a controller. I wonder if a flight stick might be better because of, like, handling the rod. But it's the same. All right. You know what? I'm gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna watch some more videos from that game before we move on to our last title. So give me like 3 to 5 minutes here. I'll be right back. All right, I am back once more. Let me open up this here. Pop this open here. And I have a whole bunch of videos here from Trophy Bass 2 that I want to play a couple of them. They are all just like PT3428, PT3427, stuff like that. I'm just going to click some at random. We're going to watch some. I am sure these are very similar to the ones from Trophy Bass 1, and they were great, so I'm going to watch them. Gotta give VLC here a second. as this is pulling from. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone here. You guys don't have PC sound. There we go.
Bright colors like chartreuse or fire tiger may not look
So-
natural to you, but they are more visible to the bass, especially in low light and in muddy water. They also make it easier for you to see the strikes in shallow water. I always keep one tied on.
First off, I just want to say, let's go here and pause.
Bright color.
Okay, first off, production value. They have trophy bass shirts and a hat. I want one of these. I want the hat. I don't know what this says. I don't know what that says. Like a company name or something? Maybe it's her name? That's a stretch. That's too, I don't know. But yeah, I would love a shirt like this. I would definitely want this hat. And the first game had a lot of had like maybe four different dudes. They got a lady this time. Okay, let's try another random one here.
The soft jerkbait works real well anytime bait fish are in the water and bass are shallow. What's more, bass will hold on to it a bit longer than other topwater lures. How you use it? Retrieve it with a series of jerks and long pauses.
Bass avoid surface water when it's outside their
Here's our
comfort
first
range.
guy.
In these cases, try fishing deeper offshore drop-offs and break line structure,
Does it say
or
Danny?
vertical structure like standing timber and bridge foundations.
Most of the year, bass are active in the shallows.
Yeah, that says
early in the
Kevin.
morning.
These are their
But as the sun
names.
gets higher and increases
Oh
the
my
light in the
God.
shallows, bass relate more to the cover in deep water.
Yeah, that is their names. That is their name there. All right, I want that shirt with my name on it. And a hat.
Since bass are ambush predators by nature, you'll find them where they have both something to hide in and something to eat. Any good structure or cover with bait fish or crawdads in the water is worth exploring.
I will say this though, this time they're clearly standing in front of a green screen versus the previous time they were just outside. Just with like the noise, like there was a guy moving a boat in the
Jigging
background.
spoon is a great way to zero in on the deep or suspended bass, working along the edges of creek channels, near deep structures, and on the edges of bait fish schools. Let it drop all the way to the fish, then sweep it up with the rod tip and drop it again. Watch your line for the strike.
That both sounded like complete nonsense, but I also kind of get it. Let's try this one.
If the bass aren't biting, crappie and sunfish give you a big fight in a small package.
Okay.
Spotted bass prefer deeper water and are a bit more predictable than their larger cousins. Now, they may go for a jig or soft bait dragged across the bottom any time of year.
You can often find bass holding near fallen timber because it's full of hiding spots. Try to retrieve your lure along the branches, not across. This keeps your lure in the strike zone longer and reduces hangups.
I love it. Not really for what we would grade or anything like that, but just funny, cute even, I would say. I love it. Okay. We are now going to move on to our final game of the day here for the PlayStation Portable. This is our next game in the Real Fishing series, our 5th title here. Let's see here. I'm using this in PPSSPP. Yes. That it? No. This. I want this. Okay. Oh boy. That is not positioned how I want it. Let's open this up. How do I go full screen? F11? Okay. Real footage of dudes. Again, Real Fishing was very pre-rendered in how it had its presentation. This is so loud. Oh, okay. Options. Okay, let's do a new game. Something up with the emulation on the audio there. Oh, there's a person here. That's a first. That is a first in this series. Okay. None of this is pre-rendered either. Welcome to the Aqua Lodge. I've been waiting for this moment ever since that day. Though it's... I gotta turn the volume down for you guys a little bit. And for me, because this is a loud-ass video game. So it's been exactly 2 years since we met. I came out of the tackle shop, and there you were, standing transfixed in front of the store window. Right away, I was worried by your pale profile. I walked by once. My intent was to ignore you, but I casually turned to look back, and you had fallen. I called an ambulance, and while I was waiting, I said, if you want a long life, you should come to my lodge once. Sure, that's what I said, yes. What the fuck is this man hitting on us? I gave you the address here. Don't know how you've spent the 2 years since then, but your complexion has gotten worse since then, so it's unnecessary to ask, what? This is no good. We can talk anytime from now on. So for the rest of the day, you should relax. You've walked this deep into the mountains. You must be tired. Oh, that's right. I haven't even asked your name yet. Well, it ain't John. All caps, Ethan. Is this name okay? Yeah. That's the thing too. I don't think I'm doing any like smoothing going on. I think this is just the way that the text is. Oh, is it? Well, that's a nice name. If you let me, from now on I'll call you Ethan. Well then, good night. Spring. No, there's definitely some smoothing going on. That is unfortunate. I don't like the smoothing on sprites. Good morning, Ethan. You were really snoring last night. Your fatigue must have been building up for a long time. It's nothing to worry about. Thanks to that sleep, you looked much more refreshed than you did yesterday. I think it would be best for you to stay here and take it easy for a while. But be prepared. Be prepared, unlike the big city. So, I don't know. There's nothing there, and there's nothing here. All we have is the great outdoors. The forests, mountains, rivers. You fish, don't you? After all, you fell in front of a tackle shop. If you need tackle, I have some. Feel free to use mine. Despite what it looks like, 4 years ago, before I messed up my leg, I was a professional angler. If you'd like, I'll coach you anytime. So, previously, the series has been just you wandering into a fishing retreat, like, outdoor woodsman-y building like this, a lodge, right? And this is where fishermen come and go, and you're here now, and you're fishing and keeping your records here, and so are the other guys that have been here before. The third, or at least Real Fishing 3, was like, had a little bit of a story where there was an actual dog that was your like neighbor's or something, and he left a note for you saying, please take care of my dog while you're here, because I know you're here. That was that, but this has an actual dude here. I don't know if I like that. But I don't know if I dislike that either. Let's head for a fishing hole. First things first. See the book, stand on the desk. Select the fishing notebook. Yep, okay. That is... Alright, I like this menu. God damn it. I like this menu. Alright, here's the thing. Oh, hold on. No, what? I don't want that. Rendering mode. No, no. No, that's not that. Yeah, you're seeing a peek behind the wizard's curtain here. I don't have an easy way to capture PSP games, so we're using PPS as PP. While I am increasing the resolution of the game, I am not. I'm not. I just do 1x. Yeah, no, I mean, the 3D environment I want to be auto, right? Because then that would be 4x, I believe. Yeah. Or I could do 10x. We don't see that though. Yeah, there was a way to have the 2D assets not be handled by the resolution. Where was that? I haven't opened this emulator up in years. I updated it. Texture upscaling. I wonder if that is where we're getting some of that. Honestly, I'm just gonna have to say screw it, and we'll have to go back. Oh right, the PSP camera it's using. It's pulled up my the capture stick and has taken that as assuming that's the camera. Great. I don't know, whatever. I just don't like seeing the smoothed out resolution here on 2D elements. It looks amateurish. Okay, this looks very much like Real Fishing 3 on PS2 in terms of its presenting you at the lake here. Wow, is this the same? Hold on. Yeah. This is the same map as Real Fishing 3. Even that same, What? Oh. We're skipping the tutorial. I just want to fish. Yep. Even how they presented the pier, it seemed like that was the same. Even this tutorial. So this is kind of just like a port of Real Fishing 3. This is the same. I mean, this menu's not the same, but... Okay. Yeah, that's pre-rendered at least. Hey, why you guys see this? What the hell? Oh my god. Well, you guys didn't see that. That's fine. Alright. Actually... I don't like that. The man's just sitting there. I don't like that. Alright. Now we're doing the game for real. Yeah, anyway, this is the pier, and this is... The boat is crashed over there. This is the same map as Real Fishing 3. Okay. Let's fish for real. Okay. You didn't like that. This is so much what Real Fishing 3 is. This is kind of a portable port of it. PSP port of the game. In a sense. It's a shame because I would rather play that game, right? Right, I gotta press square to land it. Drag him in. So what this series really likes to do before is have you like wear the fish out, and then once they're kind of relaxed, then you reel in. That's kind of how the rhythm of real fishing kind of works so far in the series. We're getting the fish. I have no idea what that sound means. I think that was tension sounds. Well, the pink pink sound was obviously line's about to snap, but before that, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, man, this is just Real Fishing 3 on the PSP. Downgraded, obviously. Oof, the water, well, I don't know if that might be an emulator issue, but water rendered in half a second late. Well, it kind of sucks to say. I feel like I've seen enough already. But yeah, man. A little disappointed that they weren't trying a new idea. Or just like you take Real Fishing 3 and you make a new game out of that. This is the same starting area. Even the lines in the show me 10 fish and I'll show you in a new spot. I've given you permission to, I've asked permission to allow you to fish here. Like, those lines are the same as what I remember. Wild. And instead of a cute dog, you have a creepy old man. There we go. Even smaller. The rod looks the same. This music might be different. I didn't set the hook well enough. It's a ring closing in situation. Alright, let's try to set it better. Oh, too late. Whoa. I accidentally activated the speed up feature. Let's try to catch one more. Tackle not ready. That pause is the same. Okay. All right, here we go. Just slowly dragging the fish in. Aw. Right by us, too. Okay. Sure. Which one? I guess we'll praise the small one. This guy is just a little bit bigger than this other one. Well, disappointing. I guess, you know, to scroll it back a bit in time. Again, I talk about this with the PSP all the time. How a lot of the games end up feeling disappointing in different ways nowadays than they did then. When they are trying to be the big, full PS2 game in your hands, they end up either having too much content that's bloated, or it's kind of, in this case, a retread. But you gotta remember, like, the ability to have a game like this on the go in and of itself is neat and cool, and it would have felt worth it. I would have loved to have had this game on PSP back in the day. I would have played this a lot, content-wise. So even though this is just Real Fishing 3 again, I'm sure there's changes to the flow of this, whatever story they have going on or anything like that. You know, like, I get it, but still, it is a bit disappointing. It is a bit disappointing. So, there we have it. How do I close this? Close it just like that. Okay. All right. We are back here. Let's give this final game, Real Fishing: The Great Outdoors. Let's give this game its scores. Infinity handled this port, I guess. PSP in 2006. So we're a couple years into PSP. A couple years. I would say we're right smack dab in the middle, in terms of like constant releases. Let's see, what did I give Real Fishing 3? 4433. Well, it's not that high. It's not that high. This is a bit of a retread. Now this being our first PSP game that we've done, it's hard to judge relative to its peers, and I don't think there are too many PSP fishing games out there. There's only like 2 Vita ones. There's a Real Fishing one on the Vita. And I do have them both downloaded onto the Vita, ready to go. And hopefully they work on the Vita TV, because I don't know how else. Otherwise, a camera onto the system in my hands. I don't know what Vita emulation is like these days. Anyway, that all being said, environment, it looks nicely realistic for PSP, but a lot of the presentation is just the same. I don't know. I feel bad giving it a lower score, even though it is basically the same, but it is kind of a lower score. This is a downgraded handheld version of the same thing. It's not trying for something new. Music and sound. Music and sound is still good. It's still like above average for that. The music is nice. The ambiance in the soundscape is nice. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Fish Friday, standard fare. We're gonna leave that at 3. And Fishing Feel is still what these games like to do. How I gave Real Fishing 2 a 4. Interesting. But I gave Real Fishing 3 a 3. And that's where I'm kind of still leaning towards, because ultimately it is still like the push and play of you not seeing any visual information. There's no HUD. When you get into the top-down view of your thing, there's no HUD at all going on there. It's all by feel. It's all by your kind of sense, your sight on the fish, and some of that audio cues, which is neat. It is neat. It's a different feel than again the Saturn game we played, where I can really like hammer in direct control. Here, this is much more of a relaxing game. You know, it works. It works for what it is. Our score here is a C. 13 out of 20. 13 out of 20. So, today has been above the middling ground of 10. Right? We haven't had any stinkers, I'd say, today. I would label all of these stinkers. Although even 10 is still a D, same as 9 and 8. But, you know, I guess Hyper Black Bass was really disappointing in that regard. But Fishin' Koushien was a good game for us to play today. That landed, albeit number 3, here up at the top of the list. I'm gonna redo I redo the list in between these streams. No one wants to watch me like cut and paste and be like, oh shoot, I messed up, and undo stuff. So that is what that is. So yeah, 2 just kind of okay titles here. One very neat title that I was surprised about, and then one that was basically a retread, almost to the point where like I feel bad even adding it to the list. It really is just another version of black bass lure fishing Um, 3 years after its initial release. Wild. Wild. But okay, that's it for me for now. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this what I got going on here, if you like this journey of ranking every single fishing video game that has ever been released, the list keeps growing as I discover more and more PC titles I'll have to figure out how to do at some point in the future. If you like all that, then, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. That would really help as well. We do a bunch of stuff here on S-Rank and part of video games and movies and whatnot. And hope you join us for all of our different rides that we're going on. And yeah, I'm a little bit tired. Long-winded tech setup for all this stuff today. So I hope it looked nice and was worth it. So thank you guys for watching. And as always, fish. I don't know.